And that's what you're trying to get today. Every one of us is doing that. We're all trying to repeat and to find things that are similar to what made us happy when we were young. And in a way, we're restricting our choices. Like I have fewer things that I get excited about because I'm not wired to get excited about the things that you are excited about. This is the reality of our mammal brain. We keep trying to stimulate good feelings with the pathways we have, because that's how our brain is designed to work. I'll explain later in more detail why we use our old pathways, even though we have billions of extra neurons. And of course, my books explain that very simply. But first, let's talk in detail about each of the happy chemicals. Let's see what triggers them in a young mammal and how you can build new pathways to trigger dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphin. You've probably heard about these chemicals already in the news and the media, but you don't know what they do in animals. Before I start, I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute and say hello and just make sure if there's any urgent questions, issues, problems. Good, okay, just like to check. So it's so you understand that you'll see that this is what you're doing all the time. Dopamine is the great feeling that a reward is at hand. So imagine you're a monkey and you wake up in the morning and you don't have a refrigerator, you're hungry, you can't go to a supermarket, so how are you going to get food? You look all around you, and when you see something good to eat, your dopamine turns on, and that creates a good feeling that says, I can get it, and that will meet my needs. And the monkey climbs toward the fruit. And that's what makes us excited. We look around, we see something that meets our needs, and we believe we can get it. And that's what turns on the dopamine, and we feel great. Some people call it joy or excitement. And it motivates you to take steps toward the reward the way the monkey climbs toward the fruit. Now, for our ancestors, they did not have refrigerators or supermarkets. They had to find food all the time. Our brain is designed to motivate you to look for food all the time. And they had to look for water and for firewood. So today, because our basic needs are met so easily, it doesn't make us happy to find food or water or firewood. So that's why we're so complicated. It takes something new to make you happy. And food is not something new for us because we have enough food. So that's why we're always looking for more, because our brain is designed to motivate us to keep looking for more, because that's what our ancestors had to do to survive in a world of hunger. Now, the complicated, frustrating part is that when this monkey gets the fruit, his dopamine stops because it has already done its job. So the monkey stops feeling that great dopamine after they got the fruit because it enjoys the calories, the nutrition, and then it takes a nap. It eats, it rests. When it wakes up, it's hungry again, and then the whole cycle starts over. It looks around. So it's, in our world, it's sort of like when you work very hard and you get something you want, you feel good for a short time, then you rest for a short time, and then you look for another way to meet your needs to feel good, okay? And it's frustrating if you don't understand it. But when you understand it, you realize that this is natural and you can manage it in a healthy way, which means when you're looking for something exciting, that you can choose something that's good for you in the long run instead of just choosing excitement that feels good now but is bad for you in the long run. You know when. Dopamine releases energy for the chase. So this is why it feels good, because it evolved to turn on your reserve tank of energy so that your whole body is more able to go for it. Now, in the modern world, when you go for it, you're usually sitting. So this is also another complication of life. We're ready for action, but we're sitting. So we all have our ways of managing this. And of course, we need to get exercise. We need to move often, but we need to also understand the feeling. The good feeling of dopamine motivates you to take steps that meet a need. So when you have a goal and you start taking steps to get closer to the goal, each step closer triggers more dopamine, and that's why it feels good to work toward a goal. Now, if you take the steps and you fail and you see that you're not getting closer to the goal, then you don't get the dopamine. So that's why we have to constantly motivate ourselves by giving ourselves realistic goals and taking action and evaluating our actions so that we believe that we are making progress. Dopamine droops once you get the reward until you set your sights on another reward. Now, the famous example is if you dream of getting a promotion at work and you think, I will be happy forever if I get this job. So you work very hard to get an important job, and when you get it, you're so happy for a short time, and then the dopamine falls, and you're not excited anymore, and then you start thinking of a new job that you'd like to have, and now you're excited again, a new goal. Now, another example, which is very sad, is if you have a romantic opportunity, a person you love, and you think, I will be happy forever if this person loves me back. And you work very hard and you get that person's attention, and let's say maybe now they're your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then you're not excited anymore. It's so important to know that this is natural, and you can't blame your partner. If you're not excited about them anymore, it's the natural role of dopamine to make you excited when you don't have them. But once you have them, it's called habituation, that our brain habituates to the rewards it already has and is always looking for new rewards. And it's a very difficult challenge in life, but I've stayed with my husband, it's my second husband, but I can't blame my husband if I don't see him the way I did when I first met him. Now, another terrible example. Let's say that I dream of eating a certain dessert, let's say a cookie. When this presentation is over, I'm going to eat a cookie. And I'm dreaming and imagining, oh, that cookie will be so good. After the presentation is over, I go and get the cookie, and my dopamine is released while I'm getting the cookie. So it's the act of getting the food that excites you. Once I get that cookie, I eat it so fast, and the dopamine stops. What happens? Many people want to eat another cookie because their brain says, I want more good feeling. This is the way I got a good feeling before, so I guess I have to eat another good cookie to feel good. Now, it's not just a cookie. You can think of this example with so many other things. Alcohol is maybe the example you're already thinking of. So this is how our brain works, and we have to understand it in order to be able to manage it. Neurons connect when dopamine flows, which wires you to expect a good feeling when you see things that stimulated it before. So